This is Our News, the weekend edition. And on the broadcast tonight, police investigates a suspicious death at a home on Chub Key. Plus, nearly 1,000 buildings on Grand Bahama still in need of repairs. And adding some color to downtown Freeport.
Our News is brought to you by Alive.
Good evening, I'm Andrew Knowles, and thanks so much for joining us. Topping news tonight. A woman was found dead on Chub Key yesterday, prompting police to launch a suspicious death investigation. While details are still sketchy up to this point, police say they were called to a residence on the Key around 2 o'clock Saturday afternoon. That's where they found the woman's body. Medical personnel visited the scene and pronounced the female dead. Police say an autopsy will be performed to determine the exact cause of death. This latest incident comes just a week after the body of 40-year-old Cleo Lockhart was found in bushes in Nassau Village. The body of the mother of 6 was discovered with gunshot wounds. Police Commissioner Anthony Ferguson says they are following significant leads as tips are pouring in from the public in connection to Lockhart's murder. Meantime, police are also investigating 2 separate weekend traffic fatalities on Andros and Grand Bahama that's left 2 men dead. In the first incident, a male was driving a dark gray Honda Accord on Queens Highway in Dorset Creek, Mangrove Key around 9 p.m. Saturday when he reportedly crashed into a utility pole. He was taken to the Mangrove Key Clinic where he later died. Officers from the traffic department will travel to Andros to investigate. The second traffic fatality took place shortly after 1 this morning after a blue Nissan Cube and a Chevy Equinox collided at the intersection of Coral Road and Ponce de Leon Drive. Both vehicles were occupied by lone drivers. The jaws of life had to be used to extricate the driver of the Nissan Cube, who sustained serious injuries. He was taken to the Rand Memorial Hospital where he later died. No word on the condition of the other driver. Investigations continue. In other news this evening, a recently released report on the ongoing repairs to Grand Bahama structures that were damaged by Hurricane Dorian has revealed that there are nearly 1,000 buildings still in desperate need of repairs. Our Jasmine Brown has the breakdown in this report.
The sheltercluster.org report dated December 12, 2019 gave a detailed breakdown of the completed current and future repair projects being carried out by local and international nonprofit organizations. Shelter Cluster is an interagency group that supports people affected by natural disasters. And here's what its report found. There are 980 projects planned for buildings damaged by Dorian. According to the report, the work needed ranges from structural repairs, mucking and gutting, tarping roofs, non-structural repairs, and mold remediation. The community with the most planned work is Heritage, with 225 planned projects that include gutting and mucking and mold remediation. Other areas like Yeoman Wood and Arden Forest were still to be determined, while Hawksbill was listed as the most vulnerable. As for past and ongoing activities by nonprofits assisting with the aftermath for Dorian, there were 537 projects. The Hawksbill communities had the greatest number of projects with 60 homes that had mold remediation, mucking, and gutting work. The tarping of roofs was also a major project in West End, where 55 homes had to have their roofs covered by U.S. aid. While the report did not give a figure for the cost of the repairs, it did indicate that there is a lot to be done. In November, government estimated that over $12 million of assistance will be required for the repair of structures damaged by Hurricane Dorian. Reporting for Our News, I'm Jasmine Brown.
All right, thanks a lot, Jasmine. Well, after a few missed deadlines by the Bahamas National Commission on Marijuana, a noted attorney is speaking out on the commission's work. Berthany McDormand reports.
Attorney Rain Monroe QC hit out at Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis, who in late November called for the records of persons convicted of possession of small quantities of marijuana to be expunged.
Well, that's just silly and ignorant. There's a law now that automatically expunges records for simple possession. It's nothing new. So when these people try to sell to the public that they're doing something really brand new, my antennas go up to say this person is basically, trying to lead me around the mulberry bush.
Minnis said as a result of the country's laws, some people have been burdened with criminal records, making it hard for them to travel and find work. He added that he eagerly awaits the release of the report by the Bahamas National Commission on Marijuana, which would help the government to reform marijuana laws. However, Monroe asserted he is not impressed by the commission's work thus far. He said he attended one of the group's town hall meetings and left disappointed.
At the meeting that I attended, you had people who spoke about needing marijuana products because they were ill. And I thought to myself, but when I read the act, medicinal marijuana has always been legal. It just takes the minister responsible for poisons, which is the Minister of Health, to permit you to import it. And there are a raft of qualified persons.
He questioned if the Marijuana Commission is a cover-up.
Because that sort of commission should have known that, one, people don't generally end up with convictions. Convictions are expunged in any event. Should know medicinal marijuana is legal, scientific marijuana is legal. And so should just be looking at societally what is likely to be the impact on young people with marijuana being legalized and no longer being taboo. How are young people likely to react to that? Impress me and get some empirical studies.
The commission is expected to submit its final report to Cabinet by early January. Reporting for Our News, I'm Berthany McDermott.
After 27 years, the government has moved to lift the nearly 3-decade-long moratorium on the issuance of taxi plates, according to Transport Minister Renwood Wells.
The taxi moratorium and livery moratorium has been lifted by the Cabinet of the Bahamas. It was a decision that was taken a couple of weeks ago. I was a little bit disappointed at the President of the Union sort of jumping ahead of the government of the Bahamas and making the announcement. But we had spoken to him once the Prime Minister had made the decision to move forward. The Cabinet made the decision to move forward.
Bahamas Taxi Cab Union President Wesley Ferguson said the move will alleviate the hardships faced by some in the industry. Wells said he has already met with the union president and they are working together on positive ways to move forward.
The Prime Minister instructed me to speak with both unions, both the livery union and the taxi cab union, to get the number of persons that they had on their list who were subleasing and who had been working in the industry for some 15 plus years. And so we had that meeting. They provided the data, but they stepped forward before the government of the Bahamas was able to actually make that announcement. So I had words with the president of the union, and I believe that we're on the same page going forward in future.
With the government purchasing $17 million worth of drones, National Security Minister Marvin Dame says the Minnis administration is looking to establish a drone academy.
We did talk about the establishment of a drone academy, and that is coming as well as we move forward.
Just last week, the government signed a $17 million contract with Swift Engineering for 55 unmanned aerial drones. Swift was selected out of 25 companies. The signing came more than a year after the government released the request for proposals for the drones. The technology will be part of a multi-agency drone program. Dame says officials want the program to be as impactful as possible, and that requires training.
We talked about the real-time crime center. The Royal Bahamas Police Force is in the process of completing its real-time crime center, as well as the Defense Force and the building just behind the structure here, where officers are assembled. We'll have a large video screen and can view any event anywhere in this country, and that's the objective there. We intend to integrate all of the technology.
Still ahead tonight, the celebrity artist using his creativity to transform downtown Freeport. Also, we introduce you to a Valley girl who is breaking barriers. Those stories and more coming up when Our News, the Weekend Edition, returns.
They just sat there and waited to see what Dorian was going to bring. And then Sunday rolled in, People put up the finishing touches, and they sat there and they waited. And then videos started to come in from Abaco. The devastation that was happening there, people were running for their lives, crying. And that's when the final clarion calls and pleas for people to leave. Being there from beginning and then watching the storm roll in. And when I saw the water meet in the road from both ends, I knew, okay, this was a problem. I went back to Grand Bahama to shoot pieces and to get an update. It's been 3 months since the storm. And we spoke with a lady, her name is Risa Pinder. Since Dorian 3 months ago, she hasn't heard from her 2 daughters, her grandson, or her great-grandson. She celebrated her 76th birthday a few days ago, and she said this was the worst birthday ever because there's nothing like not knowing what became of them.
From TV to phone to fast internet, how can we show appreciation for the 25 years you've been with Rev? To celebrate our 25th birthday, Rev is rewarding 250 lucky customers with $250,000 cash back. Simply switch to Trio, upgrade to Trio, or pay your bill in full and have your chance to win cash this Christmas. Just call 601-8992 or email us at trio@cablebahamas.com. Rev, you and us together.
Next tonight, as Grand Bahamians continue the process of rebuilding, world-renowned artists have begun coming in and to add a bit of color to the city center. Kyle Joaquin tells us more.
I travel here a lot and fell in love with the place.
And that's why Jamal Roll, better known as the celebrity artist, kicked off something pretty cool in Freeport's downtown area. What started out as one mural, the painting of an angel, quickly turned into something special, where artists from all over flew in to leave their mark.
After the storm, it came to, a pause. The whole country came to a pause, but it was inspiration for me to do the second piece, which features, first it says, "On him we have set our hope that he will deliver us again," as a mantra for Freeport going forward.
And if you've ever been to Wynwood in Florida, you'd be familiar with the work of an artist by the name of Golden. He too came in and put his imagination to work on these walls in Freeport.
Well, his style is a whimsical, childlike, fun type of thing. As we want to make Instagrammable moments, pictures for children to come and just enjoy it. I think what will make it come together is the variety of different artists from different places, different influences, and so everybody could appreciate the art.
The characters on the wall having a good old whimsical time. And next to it, a piece by the world-famous Cypros, whose work is known worldwide by characters with huge ears.
He would do portraits of well-known people and put big ears. He is also one of the artists featured in Wynwood walls, and they've painted all over the world. So he have a big following. We want to use his influence to bring some of his followers to come to the Bahamas and to use this to take pictures.
And just across the driveway, a beautiful spray painting of the country's national flower, the yellow elder, by yet another world-renowned artist.
Well, this is done by an artist called Ruben, known as Urban Ruben. All around the world, he paints animals. He's featured on Wynwood walls. He's just done a art district type of thing in Jamaica. And it was good to see the diversity of the styles. This was done using spray paint, a style that isn't often practiced here.
Roll and the Grand Bahama Port Authority are hoping to have the area transformed into a strip of art where people will be able to visit and feel the environment. For Our News Weekend, I'm Kyle Joaquin.
All right, thanks a lot, Kyle. An avid Junkanooer says she is proud to inspire a young generation of girls who are starting to beat drums. Our Jared Higgs tells us her story.
Some more females come up in Junkanoo and be like, okay, she could do it. Why can't I?
30-year-old Wendy Bodie has been beating drums with the Valley Boys since she was 6 years old.
It started one afternoon doing practice on a basketball court. The boys were jamming and I was like, hold on, this music sounds a little good. I need to take part of it.
Bodhi's Junkanoo journey began at Our Lady's Catholic Primary School, where her first drum was a hard plastic lunchbox. After dominating the junior Junkanoo circuit, Bodhi transitioned to senior Junkanoo. Over the years, her passion has only grown, and now she's a regular feature in the Valley Boys drumline. She says she doesn't allow her gender to prevent her from doing what she loves.
Drumming may seem to be a more male-dominated thing, but that Junkanoo is a passion and a feeling. So if you feel it, why not partake? It's our culture. We are females that shake bells.
Bodhi proudly tells Our News that she is often recognized by Junkanoo aficionados as the woman drummer from the Valley Boys. She says she's been told that she inspired other young female drummers to follow their passion. She says the detractors will be there, but you have to fight through.
You may have some persons who, oh, she can't beat, she's a girl. What's she doing with a drum? But I know now I've earned my respect from my quality of drumming. I have persons that, boy, you bad, boy. You bad. Like random people I don't even know go in shops. And you was rush for the Valley Boys? I say, yes, sir, I do. They say, man, you bad, man. You be better than some of the boys.
With an infectious laugh, it is difficult not to like the 30-year-old guest service agent who works at a local hotel. With Junkanoo just a few days away, Bodhi is completely in her element. She says the recent rain has made her nervous, but she's ready for Bay.
I'm excited, and I've been watching the Weather Channel for the past several days. Because, of course, now you see all this rain. Junkanoo Wednesday, we can't have no rain. So I am very anxious and excited for us to go ahead and show the Valley Pride.
The Valley Boys will be coming out first at the Boxing Day Junkanoo Parade. Bodhi says, no problem.
We do have to bring the performance. That's first and foremost. Bring the energy. You have to set the bar very high to make sure the other groups can't touch you. Now, this isn't the first time we've come out the gate first. Now, we have won in the past, not once, but twice coming out the gate first. So, like I told my mom, 3 times the charm.
Reporting for Our News Weekend, I'm Jared Higgs.
When Our News, the weekend edition, comes back from the break, professional Bahamian baseball players gear up for the Don't Blink Home Run Derby next month. Plus, we count down the most memorable quotes of the week. Those stories and more coming up.
They just sat there and waited to see what Dorian was going to bring. And then Sunday rolled in. People put up the finishing touches, and they sat there and they waited. And then videos started to come in from Abaco. The devastation that was happening there, people were running for their lives, crying. And that's when the final clarion calls and pleas for people to leave. Being there from beginning and then watching the storm roll in. And when I saw the water meet in the road from both ends, I knew, okay, this was a problem. I went back to Grand Bahama to shoot pieces and to get an update. It's been 3 months since the storm. And we spoke with a lady, her name is Risa Pinder. Since Dorian 3 months ago, she hasn't heard from her 2 daughters, her grandson, or her great-grandson. She celebrated her 76th birthday a few days ago, and she said this was the worst birthday ever because there's nothing like not knowing what became of them.
From TV to phone to fast internet, how can we show appreciation for the 25 years you've been with Rev? To celebrate our 25th birthday, Rev is rewarding 250 lucky customers with $250,000 cash back. Simply switch to Trio, upgrade to Trio, or pay your bill in full and have your chance to win cash this Christmas. Just call 601-8992 or email us at trio@cablebahamas.com. Rev, you and us together.
Welcome back to Our News, the weekend edition. With the 3rd installment of the Don't Blink Home Run Derby scheduled for January 4th here in New Providence, co-organizers Todd Isaacs Jr. and Lucius Fox continue to be amazed at how well it has been received in the sporting community. Fox talked about just that at a recent press conference to announce this year's event, adding that the plan is to continue getting better.
Can't stress enough how much attention this event is getting and how much guys ask to come down to the Bahamas every day. So we look forward to, building this event bigger and better every year and we have a great show in store for you January 4th this year, but years to come, it's going to be a big event, and hopefully you guys get on board before it's too late. But, you know, after the Home Run Derby, a lot of people will come up to us and they would say, you know, what else? What's next? So we thank Miller Lite for coming on board and, you know, giving us a platform that we can, you know, have some Bahamian artists showcase their talent, you know, music artists. We might have fireworks out there, I don't know yet, you know, it might be a surprise, you know. But yeah, we just excited to, you know, make the Home Run Derby bigger and better, you know, try to have more ways for you guys to have fun. This is all about you people, so once you guys have a great time, that's all we care about.
Finally, tonight is that time when we take a look back at the most memorable moments of the week in news in our Quote of the Week segment. It was back to court for Deidre Gibson, who was charged once again with attempting to steal another child. As she is escorted into the magistrate court, Gibson had some comments, which come in at number 4.
Make sure I look like sense before you all bombard me and finish tarnish my name and my business.
Taking the number 3 spot is Ian Goodfellow, who was questioned recently by police over a suggestion he made at a town hall meeting that there is corruption in the hurricane relief process.
But this government ran, and I voted on this government, ran on a no corruption basis. And I have to tell you that what's going on in Abaco is really
Taking the number 2 spot is BPL's chairman Donovan Moxey, who promised no more load shedding with the installation of 7 new Wärtsilä engines at Clifton.
So come this summer, when peak demand is at 260 megawatts, we will have over 300 megawatts of available power. There will be an end to load shedding.
But the top spot for Quote of the Week goes to National Security Minister Marvin Dames, who made a bold statement that crime will drop by record levels in 2020.
We look forward and we're excited about the possibilities in 2020 because we're going to put a lock on this country, and the Bahamas can expect to see record level reductions in crimes.
Well, that does it for our Quote of the Week and other stories making news this evening, but stay tuned. Our weather forecast is coming right up.